Wife sobbed, I want another baby with my ex. You'll just pay for everything. I'm a man, 34 years old. I've been married to my wife, 32, for 6 years. We have a 4-year-old son together. Until 3 weeks ago, I thought we had a solid marriage. Not perfect, but good. We communicated, we laughed, we planned for the future. And she dropped a bombshell that I'm still processing. A bit of quick context. My wife has a daughter who's now 9 from her previous relationship. Her ex ended things when their daughter was about 2 because he wasn't ready to be a father. A classic absent father move. He paid minimal child support, showed up maybe twice a year for birthday parties, and basically treated fatherhood like an optional subscription service he forgot to cancel. When I came into the picture, I stepped up. I've been that girl's dad in everything that matters for 5 years. School pickups, homework help, dance recitals, everything. Her biological father is basically a stranger who sends a Christmas card with a $20 bill inside. So 3 weeks ago, my wife sits me down after the kids are in bed. She'd been acting strange for a month. Secret phone calls, going out to clear her mind, that sort of thing. I figured she was stressed about work. No, she starts crying. Not a sad cry, more of a nervous cry, like she knew what she was about to say was insane, but she was going to say it anyway. Wife, I need to tell you something, and I need you to keep an open mind. Me? Okay. Wife, I've been talking to M about our daughter. My stomach sank. Wife, talking like just reconnecting. He's changed. He wants to be more involved in her life. I took a breath. Look, I'm not thrilled about that idea, but if the guy really wants to step up for his daughter, that's ultimately good for her. Okay, we can work out a visitation schedule or something. Wife, that's not all. Here it comes. Wife, he and I, we've been talking about having another baby together. I actually laughed out loud because surely she was joking. Me, what? Wife, he wants to give her daughter a full sibling, someone who shares both parents. And I think I want that too. I stared at her. Crying intensified. Wife, he'll still be the father of our son. Nothing changes with him. I want to give my daughter what she deserves. A real family with her real father. Me, repeat that. Wife, I know it sounds crazy. Me, it doesn't sound crazy. It crazy. You want to have a baby with your ex while we're married. Wife, it wouldn't be unfaithfulness. You'd know about it. Me, oh, well, that changes everything. As long as I know my wife is getting pregnant by another man. Wife, you're not listening. This isn't about us. It's about my daughter. Me, your daughter has a family. She has a brother, a stepfather who's been raising her, and a mother. That's a real family. And she got defensive. Wife, you wouldn't understand. You're not her real father. That hurt in a different way. 5 years. 5 years of being there. I'm still not real to her. Me? Okay. Let's say I agree to this insane proposal. What exactly do you expect from me? Wife, well, he doesn't make much money at all, and I need to take time off work for the pregnancy. So you just help financially like you do now. The baby would live here. You'd be like an uncle figure. Me, an uncle figure to my wife's baby with another man. Wife, you're making it sound weird. Me, weird. It's the definition of weird. Wife, lots of families have unconventional structures these days. Me, this isn't unconventional. This is you asking me to be a wallet with legs. Wife, don't use that word. It's disgusting. Me, so is this entire conversation. Now, here's where I did something that saved my life. About 2 months ago, I started using a voice memo app on my phone whenever we had serious conversations. Not because I suspected anything, simply because I have a terrible memory and wanted to remember important things we discussed. Doctor recommendations, financial decisions, that sort of thing. That app was running. Wife, I don't understand why you're being so selfish about this. I've given you 6 years. I gave you a son. The least you can do is support my decision. Me, your decision. Not our decision, yours. Wife, some things aren't up for discussion. This is what I need. I stood up. I need to make a phone call. Wife, to who? I pulled out my phone and called my lawyer. Yes, I have a lawyer. We used him for our wills and some property stuff. I figured he'd know someone for this. Me, hey, it's me. Sorry to call so late. I need a referral for a divorce attorney tonight, if possible. My wife's face went white. Wife, what are you doing? I held up one finger. 1 second. My lawyer gave me a name. Said he'd text me the number. I thanked him and hung up. Wife, you're overreacting. I haven't even done anything yet. Me yet. You just told me you want to get pregnant by your ex and have me foot the bill. That's enough. Wife, I didn't say I was definitely going to do it. I said I was thinking about it. Me, and I'm definitely thinking about divorce. Funny how that works. And I told her something that made her go from pale to gray. Me, by the way, I've been recording this conversation, voice memos, just so we're clear about what was said tonight. She looked at my phone like it was a loaded weapon. Wife, you can't do that. That's illegal. Me, one-party consent state. Look it up. She started screaming. I mean, really screaming about betrayal, about privacy, about how I trapped her. I just stood there and let her burn out. When she finally stopped, I said, I'm sleeping in the guest room tonight. Tomorrow we're going to have a very different conversation with lawyers. If you're watching this and thinking no way this is real, trust me, I wish it wasn't. Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below. Would you have recorded that conversation? Let me know what you think. So things escalated. What a surprise. After that night, I contacted the divorce divorce attorney my contact recommended. I sat down with her 2 days later. I played the recording, and her exact words were, "Well, that's certainly a new one." She explained what I had in front of me. 6 years of marriage, 2 kids, 1 biologically mine, 1 I've been raising, assets accumulated during the marriage, including our house. The division wouldn't be clean or fun, but she said the recording was gold, not necessarily admissible in court depending on circumstances, but incredibly useful for settlement negotiations. Lawyer: no judge is going to look kindly on a woman who asked her husband to finance her pregnancy with an ex. This gives you leverage. Meanwhile, at home, my wife had launched a full campaign. First, the tears. Constant tears. "Wife, I made a mistake. I wasn't thinking clearly. Can't we just forget I said it?" Me: you weren't confused. You had a whole plan. You'd clearly been thinking about this for a while. Wife: I was vulnerable. He manipulated me. Me: so now you're the victim. Got it. Then came the family pressure. Her mother called me. This woman has never liked me. Apparently, I wasn't good enough for her daughter, despite being the one who actually stayed and raised her granddaughter. Mother-in-law: you need to forgive her. Marriages go through rough patches. Me: ma'am, with all due respect, your daughter asked me to pay for her to have a baby with another man. That's not a rough patch. That's an exit sign. Mother-in-law: she was just exploring her feelings. Marriage is about compromise. Me: ma'am, she didn't ask me to compromise on vacation destinations or paint colors. She asked me to finance her having another man's child while still married to me. There's no compromise position there. None. Mother-in-law: you men are all the same. So rigid, so unwilling to grow. Me: if growing means accepting my wife getting pregnant by her ex, I'll stay exactly the size I am. Thanks. She called me cold, heartless, and, my personal favorite, emotionally unavailable. Then she hung up. Her sister also got involved. She showed up at our house uninvited while my wife was at work. Sister: are you really going to destroy your family over this? Me: I'm destroying the family? Your sister wants to start a second family with her ex while I finance the whole operation. I'm just responding to that. Sister: she said she didn't mean it like that. She was just thinking out loud. Me: thinking out loud about getting pregnant by another man, finding a fertility clinic, expecting me to pay for everything, and having me be the uncle figure for the child. That's a lot of detail for thinking out loud. Sister: you're twisting her words. Me: there's audio. I know exactly what her words were. Her sister's face changed. Sister: you recorded her? Me: sure did. Sister: that's disgusting. You violated her trust. Me: she violated our marriage vows. But you do you. Sister: this is exactly why she needs her real family around her. You've never understood her. Me: I understood her just fine for 6 years. What I didn't understand was that I was just a placeholder until her ex decided to come back. She left. I assumed she reported back because my wife came home that night with a completely different strategy. Righteous anger. Wife: you're trying to destroy me. You recorded a private conversation to use against me in court. Me: I recorded a conversation where you asked me to finance your affair baby. Slight difference. Wife: it wouldn't have been an affair. I told you about it. Me: that's not the defense you think it is. Wife: I want that recording deleted. Me: not happening. Wife: delete it, or I'll tell everyone you're an abusive, controlling husband who records his wife without consent. I actually smiled at that. Me: go ahead, and I'll play the recording for anyone who asks. Let's see whose story people believe. She had no answer for that. The next few days, she tried different tactics. Love bombing. Suddenly, she was cooking my favorite meals, being extra sweet, suggesting date nights. When that didn't work, she weaponized the kids. She started telling our son that daddy might be leaving for a while. He's 4 years old. He started crying every time I left for work, asking if I was coming back. That broke me. I'm not going to lie. I had to sit him down and explain that daddy wasn't going anywhere, that both mommy and daddy loved him, but that we were working some things out. The older one, my stepdaughter, was quieter about it, but I noticed she was looking at me differently. Nervous, like she was waiting for me to disappear. I pulled her aside one night. Me: hey, whatever happens with me and your mom, I'm still going to be here for you. Okay, and my daughter too. She hugged me tight. Didn't say anything. She didn't need to. That was the moment I knew I was doing the right thing. Whatever my wife had become, those kids deserve stability, and I couldn't provide that while married to someone who saw me as a wallet with legs. All right, things got ugly. Really ugly. I filed for divorce. My wife was served at her workplace, which infuriated her. I didn't specifically request that process servers go where they go, but she was convinced I'd done it to humiliate her. Wife: everyone saw. My coworkers are talking about me. Me: maybe they're talking about why you're getting divorced. That's the more interesting story. Wife: you're a real piece of work. Her response to being served was to get her own lawyer, apparently her mother is paying for it, and go on the offensive. First move, she filed for temporary spousal support and child support, claiming I'd abandoned the family by sleeping in the guest room. Her lawyer argued that my emotional withdrawal constituted a form of abandonment. My lawyer shut that down fast. Showed her lawyer the recording in a private meeting. I wasn't in the room, but apparently his face went through several stages of grief. He came back with a much more reasonable counteroffer. My wife wasn't done. She started playing dirty. She told her daughter's school that I was no longer authorized to pick up the girl, just removed me from a list. When I showed up one day to pick her up early for a dentist appointment I'd scheduled, the office looked at me like I was some kind of predator. School: I'm sorry, sir, but you're not on the authorized list. Me: I've been picking her up for 5 years. School. Her mother removed you yesterday. You'll have to contact her directly. Call my wife. Me, what the hell? Wife, she's my daughter. You have no legal rights over her. That stunned me because technically it was true. I'd never formally adopted her. We talked about it years ago, but her ex never relinquished his rights, so it was complicated. At the time, it didn't seem urgent. Now I was paying for it. Me, you're using your daughter as a weapon. Wife, I'm protecting my daughter from a hostile situation. Me, I've been nothing but good to that girl. Wife, and now you're divorcing her mother. Actions have consequences. The irony was so thick, I could have choked on it. The next move was financial. We had a joint credit card for household expenses. She maxed it out. $8,000 in 2 weeks. Designer handbags, spa treatments. Here's the kicker. A consultation fee at a fertility clinic. Yeah, she was still planning to have that baby. I froze the card. She called screaming. Wife, you can't just cut me off. He just did. That card was for groceries and gas, not Gucci bags and baby consultations with your ex. Wife, that's my money too. Me, talk to your lawyer. Her mother got involved again. Called me 36 times in one day. I stopped answering after the third voicemail, which consisted of her calling me every name possible and promising I'd regret this for the rest of my life. Around this time, her ex entered the picture directly. He'd been a ghost until now, but apparently my wife told him everything and he decided to step in. He showed up at my office. Just walked in during lunch hour. Ex, we need to talk. I looked at this guy, the one who abandoned his daughter for 7 years, the one my wife wanted to have another baby with, the one who thought he could waltz back in like nothing and claim what I'd built. And I felt nothing but contempt. Me, no, we don't. Ex, look man, I get that you're upset, but what goes on between her and me isn't really your business anymore. Me, she's still my wife until the papers are signed. Ex, not for much longer from what I hear. And once that's done, it's fair game. We got plans, big plans. Just thought you want to know so you can stop fighting it. Me, plans that include what exactly? You making minimum wage while she raises 3 kids? Because that math doesn't add up, buddy. His face twitched. Ex, I'm between opportunities right now. Me, you've been between opportunities for 9 years. At what point does that just become unemployment? Ex, you don't know anything about my situation. Me, I know you didn't pay child support half the time. I know you missed your daughter's first day of school, her first dance recital, her surgery when she got her tonsils out. I know you're standing in my office acting like you've won something when all you did was trap a woman desperate enough to blow up her life for a fantasy. He stepped closer. Ex, watch your mouth. I didn't flinch. Me, get out of my office before I call security. And good luck with those big plans. You're going to need it. He left, but not before throwing one more gem. Ex, she was always too good for you anyway. I called my lawyer immediately after. Documented everything. Added it to the file. This is the final update. Things are settled enough that I can finally breathe. The divorce is finalized. It wasn't pretty, but it's done. Here's how everything landed. The house was the big fight. We bought it during our marriage with both names on the deed. She wanted to keep it. I wanted to sell it and split the proceeds. Her argument was that the kids needed stability, that uprooting them from their home was cruel. My lawyer's counterargument was that she'd already destabilized the family by, planning a baby with her ex. The recording came up again. Her lawyer tried to exclude it, but even without being formally admitted, the judge had seen enough of the big picture. Final ruling. The house sells. Proceeds split 55 to 45 in her favor because of the kids. I was bitter about that 5%, but my lawyer told me to take the win. Lawyer, you're walking away clean. That's rare for men in divorce court. She's right. I've seen guys get absolutely destroyed. Losing 5% of a house sale was best case scenario. Child support for my son was straightforward, calculated based on income, shared custody agreement. I'll pay a reasonable amount. No complaints there. He's my son, and I want him taken care of. Spousal support was the fight. She wanted 3 years of maintenance. Her argument was that she'd sacrifice career advancement to raise the kids. My lawyer presented financial records showing I'd been the primary breadwinner throughout the marriage, that I'd paid for her to go back to school 2 years ago, and that she was perfectly capable of supporting herself. We also submitted a record of the credit card spending spree, including that fertility clinic consultation. The judge was not impressed. Final ruling. 12 months of rehabilitative maintenance at a reduced rate. After that, she's on her own. Her mother, apparently she was in the courtroom for the final hearing, stood up and called me a monster, loud enough for everyone to hear. The bailiff escorted her out. I didn't react. At this point, her family's opinion of me is somewhere below the Mariana Trench, and I couldn't care less. Now, here's where the story gets its ending. Remember Alex, the guy who showed up at my office talking about fair game? 2 weeks after the divorce finalized, I got a call from my stepdaughter's school. Emergency contact. They couldn't reach her mother. I rushed over. My stepdaughter was fine. Just had a fever and needed to go home, but she seemed terrified when she saw me. Stepdaughter, I thought you weren't allowed to pick me up anymore. Me, your mom put me back on the list. It's okay. She started crying. Not from a fever, but from relief. Stepdaughter, my mom says I have to go live with my dad sometimes now. She says he's going to be more present. My heart sank. Me, what do you feel about that? Stepdaughter, I don't want to. I don't know him. He's like a stranger. I took her hand. Me, whatever happens, I'm still here. You can call me whenever you need to. Okay, promise. Stepdaughter, promise. I took her home to my ex-wife's new apartment. The house had sold. She'd moved to a 2-bedroom place across town. When I dropped off my stepdaughter, my ex-wife was there with her ex. They were arguing loudly. Through the door, I could hear, "Ex-wife, you said you wanted this. You said you wanted to be a family. family. Ex, I wanted to try, okay? But this is a lot. The kid, the divorce stuff, you stressed out all the time. Ex-wife, I left my husband for you. Ex, I never asked you to do that. I knocked on the door. The argument stopped. My ex-wife opened the door, mascara running down her face. Me, she has a fever. School call. I handed over our stepdaughter. My ex-wife didn't say anything. Just took the girl and closed the door. Her ex was already putting on his jacket. I saw him through the window as I walked to my car. He was on his phone, walking in the opposite direction. Leaving. Again, he probably already had another woman on the line. Some people never change. I found out later, through mutual acquaintances, what happened next. He left within a week of moving in with her. Apparently, living with a newly divorced woman and her 2 kids was too much pressure. He wanted the fantasy, the idea of a family, not the actual work of having one. Classic. My ex-wife tried to come back to me exactly once. She sent a long text about how she'd lost herself and made mistakes and hoped we could find our way back to each other eventually. I didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. That was 3 weeks ago. I have my son half the time now. Week on, week off. He's adjusting. It's hard, but he's a resilient kid. He asks about his mom a lot. I tell him she loves him and he'll see her soon. I keep my opinions to myself. He doesn't need to carry my baggage. My stepdaughter texts me almost every day. Memes mostly. Sometimes homework questions. I respond to every single one. I may not have legal rights over her, but she's still my daughter in everything that matters. I've told her that if things get bad at her mom's house, she can call me. I've documented everything. Talked to my lawyer about options. If her mother's life becomes too chaotic, I want to be ready to step in. As for my ex-wife, she's learning what consequences mean. Her dream of a perfect family with her ex is falling apart because, surprise, a man who abandons one child isn't going to stick around for another. She has 12 months of maintenance, and then she's on her own. Her mother can only bail her out so many times. I feel bad for her. Some days, she threw away a stable life for a fantasy. That's sad. She made her choice. She looked at everything I provided, the stability, the partnership, the love, and decided it wasn't enough. She wanted something I couldn't give her, and she was willing to burn it all down to get it. That's not my fault. That's hers. The recording, I still have it backed up in 3 places. My lawyer says to keep it forever. You never know when someone might try to rewrite history. For everyone asking for advice, trust your instincts. When something feels wrong, it probably is. Document everything and know your worth. I spent 6 years building a family, and the moment I was asked to finance my own replacement, I knew exactly what I was worth to her. Nothing. I deserve better than nothing. So do you. Thanks for following the story. Take care of yourselves.